What's up guys, Phantom here, back with episode 30 of my F1 2019 career mode as we're going to circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix for round 8 of season 2.
Welcome to qualifying for this weekend's French Grand Prix. The teams are making their last-minute adjustments before the lights go green and the fight for pole position gets underway. So Anthony, here we are with another exciting qualifying session ahead of us. Tell me, what are you hoping to see today?
Well, Crofty, it's always at the back of my mind that I'd love to see the lap record broken. But even without that, I'm hoping to see some fantastic edge-of-your-seat driving today. With the conditions as they are, I'm sure we'll see some very fast laps as the drivers push themselves to squeeze out every millisecond that they can.
As we're here in Q3, as Q1 and Q2 were dry, but as you can see here, in the matter of, 10 minutes, it's absolutely bucking it down here, and we have not done one lap on wet or intermediate tires or in the rain here. So we are not going to be prepared at all. So as we come down here into turn 1, we go really wide as we managed to make up a little bit on the exit of turn 2 there. But as you look on the mini map, as Hamilton behind us is just absolutely catching us, as he is right now on a flyer and we are not. As we look back, we are going to be P7 but quickly move down to P8 as Hamilton is on pole position as we are all the way down in P10 for the French Grand Prix.
We'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. Welcome along then to the Circuit Paul Ricard, home of the French Grand Prix, home race of the Renault team, and of course a number of the drivers on the grid as well. Of the 14 races held here up until 1990, 5 were won by a Frenchman, and 4 of those, of course, were Alain Prost. I wonder who'll add their name to that winners list today. The Circuit Paul Ricard then, a 3.6 mile track, 25 miles east of Marseille. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, with the main overtaking chance expected going into turn 8. Top speeds today should be around 205 miles per hour. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Raikkonen, Devon Butler and Norris, Verstappen, Sainz, Perez and De Haas, Leclerc, Weber, Nico Hulkenberg and Kubica, Giovinazzi, Russell, Daniel Kvyat and Lance Stroll, Ricciardo and Alexander Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
As we sit here on the grid in P10 after a horrible qualifying performance, 5 lights are out and we have a really good initial getaway there as we have passed Perez there into P9 as we are looking to, for a split second, maybe to split Verstappen and Sainz there, but we thought better of it as the gap closed as we were up into P9 overtaking Perez there down the straight as we think about a little bit of a lunge there against Sainz, but we think better of it as we want to try to set ourselves up for the back straight as we run a little bit in the back of Verstappen as Verstappen gives us the squeeze there as we're going to try to go around the outside, stay on the track, but we are not able to, and so we get a legal overtake on Verstappen, but Perez is also on the inside and we have really low drag for this back stretch, so we are going to be quick as we kind of play a little bumper cars with Verstappen there around the outside as it looks like Perez backed out of it and stopped a almighty collision there as we were kind of trying to fit 3 cars in really a 1.5 lane track there, really, as we are on the start of lap 2 here, as there are yellow flags out, as obviously something has happened out here into turn 1 and turn 2. As we look, as we almost made a heavy collision, as it looks like there's a pile up, as Butler, our teammates, out of the race. So is Bottas, Verstappen, Sainz. Let's see, Hulkenberg's out of the race. Kvyat. There are 13 cars left. Ricardo, both Renaults are out. There are 13 cars left here. As we look on the replay, Bottas had a engine failure as Vettel got out, and he looks like he's going off the track and then pulls out right in front of Butler there, as you see us go through, and they just pile on, as even Bottas moves a little bit there, as we see from Hulkenberg's here view, as they just all pile into each other. And so there are 7 cars out of the race. There are 13 cars left here as we get on the front stretch here to start lap 2. There are a bunch of cars there on the mini map that are really slow, with obviously probably wing damage here, as we look from Perez's point of view, as there's a Williams behind them, as there are a bunch of cars coming in from the incident there, as you can see, as it looks like a ton of cars went in there, probably 6 or 7, as we're going to make our pit stop, as Raikkonen is up into 4th place for Alfa Romeo, which is probably the highest he's been in our career mode all season, as with 37 miles an hour. It's really slow, as we have a 2.2 seconds pit stop, as it looks like Raikkonen's coming into the pits by the Alfa Romeo team being there. As we look back, it is, as we are about 8 seconds behind Vettel, and Raikkonen after this pit stop is about 16 seconds behind us. So we are really in the middle of no man's land, as Lewis Hamilton will win the French Grand Prix, as Vettel is 2nd and we will be 3rd, and Raikkonen will finish P4 as we are on the podium again.
Great drive, great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, you know what they say, to finish first you have to finish. And that fact was clear today, with lots of retirements having a big effect on the outcome of the race. As a driver, you tend to keep reliability concerns to the back of your mind and just focus on what's in front of you. But for the teams, races like this can be very stressful.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
It's an interesting one today. On balance, I think I have to call out Alexander Albon. A really solid drive from him today, and one that he and his team should be proud of.
Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Alfa Romeo, whose good result moves them further up the championship. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.